$10 bills, which I always thought they did 20, but it says instead of getting 10s, it dispenses $100 bills.
Oh, wow. So
if you took out, let's say $300, that's $3,000. If you took out $500, that's $5,000. Look how much money that's for being a good customer, I guess, at Bank of America.
Yeah, I know all the ATMs around here where I live. They only do increments of 20. So that's an ATM you want to go to for sure.
Well, I had that happen at a bank up here 3 years ago. We went to the ATM and I took out, I was taking out 20s, and then I looked at it. They were $1 bills. Okay, and I took out like $300 actually it was, and I got $30, and I was upset. So I went into the bank because the bank was open, and it was a Wells Fargo, by the way. And I go up to the teller and I said, "Look, I just took out $300 out of the ATM, and it dispensed me all $1 bills. That is impossible." And I said, "Well, it did." And as soon as I said that, another guy comes in and he goes, "Something's wrong with your machine. It's dispensing $100 bills. $1 bills." And then some lady came in and said the same thing. So they looked at it, and then they realized something was wrong with the machine. But they still made me wait till the next day to get my money.
Yeah, at least you got your money back. A bank I was dealing with a year ago, I went to the ATM, got out a few $100s, and didn't take nothing of it. I went and paid my bills, and I was like $160 short on paying my rent. And I was like, that don't make sense, And I went to look, and here the ATM had shorted me $160. So I went in and talked to the people, and I told them what happened, and they said, well, they give me a number to call. Said, you got to call this number and deal with them. I'm like, that's weird. Okay. So I called the number, and they said, well, where'd you get it? I told them. They said, well, you got to go back to the bank and deal with them. So they was trying to just circle me around. That's still going on. I still haven't got paid for that. All they had to do was just count their daily, withdrawals from what they got in from the ATM, and they would have seen they would have been $160 to the good. But I guess, they don't do things like that in this computer age. I don't know.
It's always, yeah, sure, we don't make mistakes. You know what I find interesting? A bunch of herd of runaway goats invades a neighborhood in Idaho. And here's a picture of all these goats, and I'm talking dozens and dozens, right? Going through the area. Goats can just tear up your front yard faster than anything. And here's all these rich people, right? And all their landscaping is just like being tore out and nothing left. And like they did the whole neighborhood. They demolished the whole neighborhood before they got control of all those goats.
Oh, yeah. Goats and sheep, man, they will mow your yard where you won't have to mow it for a long time, and bushes and shrubs and you name it. They can do some serious damage. Not to mention, don't turn your back to them because they will mess you up.
Yeah, tell me about that, and I don't want to talk about it. 2 older elderly men sneak out of the local nursing home and have the authorities panicky looking for them. Guess where they find them?
I'm going to guess. Strip joint?
No, a heavy metal festival.
Oh, my goodness. It wasn't Ozzy, was it?
It didn't say.
Okay. So I guess they was having a good time at the old heavy metal concert. Wasn't that something? Good for him.
And only, put it this way, a 69-year-old man, Dutch man, attempts to lower his legal age to 49 because he feels 49.
Where do these people get these thoughts to do these things? They must have too much time on their hands. So he only feels 49, so he's going to go in and legally drop his age to 49. Is that even legal? That's bizarre. That is bizarre.
That is. Could you imagine that?
Speaking of bizarre, check this out. A mom marries a tree in front of the family and now plans to change her name. I'm not kidding you.
Hey,
she's marrying a tree.
Do you want to make a lot of money, James?
Oh, sure.
They got a study. They want somebody to spend 30 hours in a coffin.
Oh, I could do that.
Underground.
Well, I don't know. Well, maybe if I could breathe.
Well, I'm sure they're going to pump air in it, but they're going to pay you money.
Sure, if price is right. Yeah, I say, you know what? Bury me up. Give me my snorkeler, and let's get it on. Let's get. I don't know where's this at. I might go apply.
Oh, I don't know. I somehow the thought of being buried underground for a hunk of money just doesn't interest me.
Yeah, because they might forget to come get you and not pay you. That's the thing. Hey, speaking of drones, a Pennsylvania man dropped explosives on his ex-girlfriend's property from a drone, prosecutors say. I'm telling you, these drones, I've been saying it for months now, they can be used for all kind of nefarious things, and anybody can get them nowadays. You can go to Walmart and get them, at least you used to last time I was there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people are doing that for, moving drugs and doing all kinds of stuff. Isn't Amazon going to start delivering, too, with drones eventually?
I heard that. I think it was, I actually seen that commercial on TV just the other day, something about that. And I actually think there was another one, somebody said that Domino's was thinking about doing something with drones, too.
Yeah. Hey, my pizza's so cold from the air trip. I don't know. A gang leader in Brazil, right, decides he's going to get out of a prison. He's a major drug trafficker. And his daughter comes to visit him, and he dresses like and tries to look like his daughter and walk out of prison.
So he dressed like his daughter?
In other words, his daughter took off all her clothes, gave it to him, and brought makeup and tried to make him and a wig and try to make him look like her. She had, because she could come in to visit him. So, yeah, he was going to leave as her and then, get out of prison that way.
Obviously, it didn't work out too good, and they probably going to get a little more time. And she's probably going to get some time, too, for helping out.
I don't know. What do people do now? I mean, all these wacky stories, even if half of them are true, it is really, really scary. You know that?
Absolutely. Here's a scary thought that comes close to where I live, actually. An Amish buggy was pulled over. And the reason it was pulled over, it had a 12-pack of Michelob Ultra on top of the buggy, and they had a hi-fi stereo system in there. It was just jamming. Now this was a horse-drawn buggy. At 1 a.m. in the morning, was pulled over, and they were drunk driving with a horse and buggy, and the evidence is sitting on top, and there was open containers all over the place. So it's just not vehicles that people are driving. I guess even the Amish are doing it now.
Probably. And, a woman at a Walmart store here about a month and a half ago got arrested. She was peeing all over the potatoes. How you get up there and pee on the potatoes?
That takes some physical athletic talent, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, she got caught peeing on a bin of potatoes.
Jeez. That's another thing. What is wrong with people going in all these stores and drinking stuff and licking it? What is that? That's not. How would you like to buy something, bring it home, and get mono or some other God knows disease from somebody else just because you innocently buying something at a store? That's just, that's scary.
Yeah, you go buy ice cream and maybe somebody spit in it. This one guy got busted on Facebook here last month. He thought he would do a prank and go in stores, right, and spit in bottles of, like Snapple and stuff like that. And they actually showed, on YouTube that he was, and even Facebook doing that. And naturally, his picture was there. His ID was there from, YouTube and Facebook. And he was really shocked when the authorities come knocking on his door and saying, hey, you're going to jail for this one.
Well, yeah, that's just crazy stuff like that. I can't understand why people do crazy things and then rat on themselves on Facebook or whatever. Here's a true story. This happened about 7-8 months ago. Here where I live, a school district was on strike for more money. Well, every morning they would be out there striking, with their signs saying, hey, we want more money, whatever. Well, this couple that lived next door in this trailer, and they were severe meth heads, and they couldn't stand the noise they were making. So what they did, and they filmed themselves on camera on Facebook Live and put it out there for everybody to see. of them taking X-Lax and putting in cookies and making cookies and sending their daughter out, little girl, to give them to the people protesting these cookies loaded with X-Lax. Now, they filmed all this and put it out there. Local police seen it all. Everybody's seen it, and they turned it in. They couldn't figure out how they got arrested. It just blows my mind how people are so foggy from drugs, and they just rat on themselves doing this stuff, and they can't understand why.
Well, they also don't realize, I hate to say it, law enforcement monitor Facebook pretty heavy. So, you get somebody who's, bragging like, oh, I robbed this house, I robbed this guy, I stole this car, right? And they're bragging them, and you're not going to find me. Okay, yeah, they're not going to find you. Yeah, they're going to find you real fast, and they usually do.
Right, that's like this couple. You should have seen this Facebook Live video. They were on there bragging and laughing how they were going to get these people, and nobody's going to catch them. It was a big thing. I was like, what is wrong with you? Just the thought of doing that to somebody, and then to have the audacity to film yourself live doing it, like there's all the evidence. Boom.
Oh, I know. Hey, we're going to have a great guest here after the break here in a few minutes. We got Bruce-Maccabee on again. And he was a scientist. He was also connected with being in the Navy for many years. And, he's really, wrote a lot of articles and stuff about, UFOs and disclosure and stuff like that. And, he's always a great guest. He's going to be on from, the top of the hour to the top of the hour. We might cut our show a little short tonight down to 8 o'clock because of whatever is happening with it's funny. Every time the internet dies for a second, then a computer decides to update. And as while I'm talking, I've been watching, like 3 computers so far have been updating. Crazy, isn't it?
That is crazy. They always seem to go hand in hand. And yeah, you mentioned about Bruce. He's wrote some fantastic papers, especially about the Australian event that happened, I think, in 1978 with the plane that disappeared out of nowhere. And he wrote some good papers on that. I know that for sure. I read them. Oh,
yeah. I wonder what's going to happen. Today in the news, the impeachment thing is really heating up. And today, Trump, and I voted for Trump. But today, Trump is getting under fire big time, right? Now he's blaming the vice president, too. Can you imagine, oh, yeah, I robbed the bank, but by the way, my wife was there, too. He said, well, the vice president was talking to, the Ukraine president, too, about the same thing. So, he's just ratted out the vice president.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know what to say about all that. I just know that a lot of people, I know all politicians are crooked.
No, that's more so no, they're not all crooked. No, there's a lot of honest politicians. Okay, it's just the problem is when let's face it, when you get in office, right? You find out you really don't have that much power that you thought you would have. So,
well, that's the thing. Yeah,
and the thing about Republicans and Democrats, okay? Come on, you know what? Sometimes you got to open up and think what's good for the country, not your party, okay? Because if you're a Republican and all of a sudden, you got somebody in there, I don't care if it's a senator, a congressman, or a president, that is doing stuff that is not right, why are you defending him? You should be on the same side as the other side if there are have a legit thing. We got to think of our country. I hate to say it, of every president in the world, Trump it's been as a witch hunt, okay? He hasn't done anything wrong. We all know that. He's totally innocent, even with those young girls.
I don't know. I wasn't there. I'll just have to take your word for it.
Well, no, I mean, seriously, come on. I don't understand what's gone wrong with our political system in this country. It's really scary. I don't know. If you're a Republican or a Democrat, it shouldn't be your views. It should be what's good for, the people that you represent and the people of the United States. That all should come first. We're going to go to break. Hopefully, let's see if this works. You ready? Let's find out.
Yep.